Hi, I'm the Garden Witch. It's almost Halloween night. Today, I want to share with you a spooky Halloween story I do every year on the 31st, and I have an announcement, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Hi, I'm Bonnie Overman, the Ghoulish Garden Witch today. And I want to thank you for joining me. I hope my channel will inspire you to lead a more productive, creative, and stylish life at any age, always on a budget. And yes, I'm 70 and I say it because if I can do these things, you can do them too at any age. I want to thank my subscribers. I love all of you so, so much. I really appreciate the support you give me and the encouragement. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. You don't want to miss any of my very entertaining videos. And I'm going to have a joyous Christmas season. A countdown to Christmas is coming up in my next video. Anyway, please subscribe. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. This is my last appearance as a witch until next year. And I will be, I think, a celestial witch next year, all in black and silver with moons and stars and all kinds of magic. Anyway, today I want to tell you a Halloween story like I do every year, and you can watch the one from last year too. It's called The Halloween Competition, and I do have a little moral at the end of the story. Well, once upon a time, there was a little cul-de-sac in a little town in Littletown, USA. And on this cul-de-sac were all these cute little houses, and all the neighbors knew each other. And our main character that I'm going to talk about today, her name is Lucy. She's about 60 years old. She's widowed. She lives along with her little dog, Toto. Why Toto? Because it looks like Toto. He's a little terrier. So every night she walks the dog, and all the children love little Toto and always come up and pet him and the whole thing. So it was a very, almost like everybody was family. One of the people right across the street from her had to move for job reasons, and so they wondered who was going to move in this new house. So they waited and watched, and sure enough, here comes a big fancy car, and out of it gets this gorgeous tall woman dressed in a business suit and high heels. And a lot of people went out to wave, and she didn't pay any attention. She just went in the house. Well, I'm not going to make any judgments, Lucy said. I'm just going to wait and see. I'm sure she's a friendly neighbor. So the next day, Toto got out, and he went across the street, and he was sitting in front of her house on the sidewalk, just looking. She came roaring out of the house, yelling at him, "You dog, you get out of here. Don't you get in my yard," and chased him across the street. Lucy ran out of her house, just terrified, and scooped up Toto and said, "I am so sorry. I hope he didn't bother you." She said, "Keep that dog out of my yard," and turned around and stomped back into her house. Lucy thought, wow, I really must have upset her. So now the days go by, and she really doesn't see this lady who she find out goes by Ms. Wilson. And so October comes, and in everybody's mailbox, the mayor of the city wanted to do a Halloween decorating contest, and the prize was $1,000. So Lucy asked the kids in the neighborhood, "What is your favorite movie?" "Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas." "Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Jack Skellington. I'm going to be Sally. Little Toto can be Zero, right? And we're going to do a whole display." So they all got to work making things, and she made a big Oogie Boogie to stand outside, and a Jack Skellington, and she sewed her Sally dress and made a little costume for Zero. So it's almost time for Halloween, and there's a fair, a craft fair pops up in their town, and she said, "Oh, Toto, let's go to that. That should be fun. We'll find some decorations maybe." Well, she's looking around, and she sees this table with, it looked like 3 witches. They had witch hats on anyway. And there's Miss Wilson, and she's buying something. And so she goes, "This is my last chance. I'm going to go over and say hi and see what happens." So she goes over and says, "Hi, Miss Wilson. How are you? Are you getting things for your Halloween decor?" And she turned around and looked at her and said, "It's none of your business," and took her things and went off. And it looked like she had bought some eyeball seeds and some plant food or something. The witch looked at Lucy and said, "Is she always so angry and in a bad mood?" And Lucy goes, "Well, I haven't seen her be nice yet, so there's always hope." She goes, oh, I hope that lady minded what I told her. I told her she could only use 1 drop of plant food on each one of those eyeball seeds to grow these ghoulish gardens in her front yard. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. So it's the day of Halloween, and Sally's putting the finishing touches on her dress, and they put Oogie Boogie out and all the lights, and it's starting to get dark. And she looks across the street, and there's Miss Wilson out there dousing her seeds in this plant food that the witch said use a drop, no more. And Lucy's looking, and she could see the plants growing before her eyes. And they were not nice, smiling, happy plants like I have. They were monstrous plants that were screaming, and they had little teeth, and they were looking for somebody to nip. In fact, Ms. Wilson was still out there, and they started nipping after her. She screamed and ran in the house. Well, it was time for Halloween, and the kids were coming, and as they went to all the houses in the neighborhood, they came in front of Miss Wilson's house and screamed and ran away. It scared them so much, and Miss Wilson was in her house, and she said, success. I didn't want those nasty kids coming on my property, and now I've created a Halloween scene out there that's so ghoulish, I'm going to win that $1,000. Well, soon, it was getting later and later. Here comes the judges. They walked up into each area, got a treat, and looked and saw everything. And it became time now for that final announcement. Who won the contest and who's going to get a prize of $1,000? Everybody's waiting with bated breath. So they said the second place winner is the pirate display down the street. And the grand prize goes to Nightmare Before Christmas. All of a sudden, in the midst of the clapping, you heard the scream. Ms. Wilson came running over saying, I should win that. I should win the $1,000. Look at my yard. And the judge looked at her and said, we consulted the children before we made our final decision on the one that inspired them and gave them happy, good feelings. And yours scared the children. It was not good. It is dangerous. You would never win this prize. And went on to turn away. She ran screaming into the house, yelling, I should have won that. And all the while the plants are biting at her. And she runs into the house. Lucy now holds up her little plaque and her cash award with Toto the dog dressed as Zero, and thanks everybody so, so much. Everybody clapped and was so happy. Well, the end of the story is, a couple weeks later, Ms. Wilson moved out of her house and left the mess behind. And a new family moved in, and they were working so hard cleaning up all those dead, horrible creature plants that she had planted. And Lucy heard a knock on her door, and it was her new neighbor coming over with cookies for her. And Lucy said, oh, you're going to be such a great addition to this neighborhood. You're going to fit right in. Come on in and let's have some cookie and coffee. And she also said that she liked little Toto too. So that is the end of the story. And the moral of the story is, competition. Competition is such a very hard thing to navigate sometimes. But I will tell you this. The moral is, when you go to compete, always enter something that's creative and from your heart, something that really inspires you and that will make other people happy and inspire them also, just like Lucy did. And all those kids are going to go on to have big, beautiful Halloween displays and inspire other people. So this little witch is going to bid you adieu. I will not be back till next year. My broom is waiting for me. But stay tuned, because tomorrow Bonnie's doing her vision board for November, and it's countdown to the holidays. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so great. My announcement is, I was involved in a documentary on competitive tablescaping in 2019. Well, they made it into a documentary, and it just got bought by Discovery Plus. So if you would like to see me, I was a little heavier. I had my ugly hair and glasses, but it is me in the movie. But it's a very kooky, crazy, funny, heartwarming documentary, and it's called Set. S-E-T exclamation point. And it is the story of all of us following our passions and creating a masterpiece to be placed in front of the public and judged by judges. It is a very heartwarming story about all of us. All right, you guys, I hope you loved this whole Halloween month. I had such a blast doing my costumes, my decor, my party, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow, and let's get going for the holidays, okay? I hope you loved it. I hope you got inspired, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye.